Good morning. This is John from the Springs Mennonite Church. I'm here this morning to continue my conversation about the 8th chapter of the Gospel of John. And today, I'd like to look at verse 12. Here's what it says. Jesus spoke to the people once more and said, I am the light of the world. If you follow me, you won't have to walk in darkness, because you will have the light that leads to life. Well, Jesus was always saying something to somebody. He was the ultimate talker, if you will, the ultimate teacher, the ultimate sharer of probably new ideas in those days. And here he says to this group of people, I am the light of the world. Now, what does he mean by that? Well, at the time, he was just an itinerant rabbi, someone who moved around teaching and sharing and building a crowd. And there were many other authorities, some much more powerful than he, or at least it appeared to be. There were the religious leaders who supposedly knew who God was like. There were the Romans who didn't really care who God was like. They were the political power. And these two groups were the source of truth to all the people who lived in that area. And then Jesus comes along and I guess in many ways you could say he insults them. And he insults them by saying things that they never thought of or wouldn't have thought of. He carves out a place in the midst of the leadership of the area. And that place he carves out is unique to all the others. Now, the religious leaders did not claim to be something in and of themselves. They claimed to know about something, the something being the laws of God. The Romans were just arrogant rulers. I mean, they had conquered the world by this time, at least the known world, and they knew they were more powerful than anybody, and nobody better get in their way, or they'd just wipe them out. But then here comes along this itinerant rabbi, and he starts out by saying, I am the light of the world. What does that mean? Well, what it in essence means is, I know the truth. Now, that, of course, was going to upset people. And ultimately, we know that it did because they crucified him. But he said, I am the light of the world. I am the source of everything you need, of every truth that there is. I am that person. Kind of reminds me of the Old Testament name of God, I am. It's a very forceful and very distinct phrase that isn't used much in the Bible. So then he goes on to say, if you follow me. Now the phrase here is if, meaning you can choose not to. A lot of people over the years have chosen not to. Some of you who may be listening today, if you haven't chosen not to follow Jesus, you may not have chosen to follow Jesus. And if you haven't chosen to follow him, well, guess what? You're not. So he says, if you follow me. Now, what does it mean, follow me? Does it mean walk in his footsteps? walk right behind him, go where he went? Well, not really, because you and I can't do that. We are removed by about 2,000 years. We can't do that. But what he refers to is if you will do what I say, if you will follow my teachings, if you will listen to my words and allow them to infuse your being. He says, if you do that, then you won't have to walk in darkness. Now, a lot of people today use Jesus to justify their position. And usually that position is one of hate or prejudice or exclusiveness or anger or to dominate. All of those things Jesus never said or did. In fact, what Jesus is saying is, don't use me, let me use you. Let me enter into a relationship with you whereby you decide to go down the pathways that I have set forward. And he says, if you do that, then you will never have to walk in darkness. What does he mean by that? Well, at the very least, he means you won't ever have to wonder if you're doing the right thing. See, today's world, people are doing their thing. And somehow we have come to the place in history where we think that doing my thing takes precedent over anybody else's. You can't interfere with me doing what I want to do. Well, there's some truth to that, and there's certainly some power in that phrase. But if we don't do what Jesus wants, then we're not doing the godly thing. You can call it godly, but it isn't. You can use Jesus as the the rock that you beat people over the head with, but it's not Jesus. Jesus says, you follow me and you will never walk in darkness. You'll never have to wonder, am I doing the right thing? And he says, because you will have the light that leads to life. Everything Jesus talked about was about affirming life with God. Now, when you listen to people today who use Jesus, see if that's what their words do. I bet you find out they don't. Well, thanks for listening to me today. I hope you have a really great day. If you need something or we can help you with, let us know. We'll do everything we can as fast as we can to help meet your need. Until tomorrow, when I'm back with some more words from this 8th chapter of John, God bless you. I'll talk to you again.